Welcome. In this video, I have the privilege of re-interviewing Jordan Abecasis. Jordan and I met a few weeks back over an initial podcast where he shared his origin story and the catalyst that led him into developing his current venture, Adam Rehabilitation, where he serves as the CEO and is the founder of the business. It is designated as a patented product in the postural rehabilitation space. Jordan has an awesome background in biomedical engineering and in sales, and is sharing his perspective on business, leadership, and life in this discussion. I think his insights are accessible and inspiring to professionals at any stage of their career, and I highly recommend you check out the discussion. So, without further ado, I give you Jordan Abecasis.
Wow.
Jordan, welcome back.
Logan, thank you. Appreciate
It's
it.
good to see you.
Always good to see you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. Our last conversation was a deep dive into your origin story.
Yeah.
We learned about the starting point in your professional life, the twists and turns, obstacles overcome, lessons learned, trials and tribulations, setbacks, catalysts for growth, character development, to name a few.
Right.
And it's brought us, we ended at a point where we're pretty much current day talking about your leadership role as a founder, as a business owner. And walked us through how you came to where you are today.
Right.
And I think right before we jumped on the line, we hit that red button. We were saying it would be awesome to talk more about where you're at today and where you're going from here, the North Star, the guiding vision for you and your company.
Yeah.
But assuming that anyone watching this didn't see the other video, Jordan, you want to just start off by giving us the origin story in a box?
Sure.
Run through to bring us into today?
So
Who are you?
I went from being so my name's Jordan Abecasis. I'm the CEO and founder of Adam Rehabilitation, and Adam stands for Advanced Dynamics for Adaptive Movements. But Adam was chosen because it was the first of many, the start and creation of a new. And that was very powerful for me, not only to find that 4-letter acronym, but also to have something mean something beyond just the advanced dynamics portion of it, right? So in the start of something new, and I created a complete postural restoration system that works primarily from the rib cage and up. So anybody suffering with shoulder pain, neck pain, upper arm instability, elbow pain even, I've created a system that allows you to go, whether it was your grandmother who was in pain, all the way up to the highest level athlete, to not only end your pain, cure your pain, fix your posture, and provide you a better life. And all of it came from my mom. My mom is an individual who was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. She also has some hypermobility issues, and she was unable to find a proper way to progress her to get out of pain. Physical therapy was slow. She had tried the acupuncture. She tried all the medicine. She tried everything in the book that you've known about. And it wasn't until I created a stable and safe strength training method that combined both the world's best physical therapy advice, but also with all of the strengthening and conditioning advice that athletes use. And I put them together into a system that, like I mentioned, anybody can benefit from, that allowed her to thrive for the first time. And we took her from almost nothing from almost chronic pain at a daily basis, all the way out to where she's not in pain anymore. She lives a very happy and functional life. And to this day, she uses my system to maintain the way that she feels. it's incredible to see you. She called me today. We spoke on the phone today. My neck's been bothering me doing this, but you know what? I'm going home. I'm going to go use the performance system because I know that it's the only thing that I can use that actually gets rid of these feelings. I couldn't even sleep last night, and all I could think about was the fact that, this is what happens when I go too long without maintaining my body in the way that you've taught me to. And it's very powerful to hear that, to know that not only did I create something that solves the problem, but it continues to solve the problem day after day, week after week, year after year, to make sure that she's strong and healthy. It's nice. Really, really good. So that's what I do. That's my background. I went from a pre-medical student to becoming a biomedical engineer and leaning on to now a complete real life business owner, suit and tie look. As you can see, I'm very formal and but in my mind, business is fun. I'm here. I helped my mom, didn't think it was going to turn into a business, but realized very quickly that there are so many other people that could benefit from this, and it would be a shame of me not to share and to spread what I have and what I've given back to my own family. It would be selfish of me not to bring that to the world as well.
Fantastic summary of the origin story.
Yeah, that was an hour
Having
long before.
if you just heard what Jordan said and are interested in unpacking that further, the last episode he and I recorded together is that unpacking. No details spared. It was awesome. As the individual that got front row seats to be a part of that conversation, I highly encourage you to check it out. I'll make sure I leave the link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube so you can see the original origin story discussion. But that brings us to today.
Yep.
Tell us about your view as a business owner on your own business. How do you see your business? How do you think about it? What's your mental image regarding the different pieces and parts of your business? And how do you keep them together and moving forward?
In my mind, business is made up of so many pieces in the back end, but things are very clear and straightforward on the front. You solve a problem and you make revenue. That's the front end. The back end is how you do it and all the systems that you have in place to make things easier for you, or the business owner himself. And really, the only people who get to see that back end are individuals like us, the CEOs, the franchise owners, the entrepreneurs who are looking to go ahead and build these systems to go ahead and help others. And I want to kind of like take that last couple of words, and helping others is really the only thing that has continued to drive me along this point now on. I don't think I could be in a business that didn't help others in the way that I do, because when I get a client that tries my performance system who's been struggling for years, it puts that light back into me. It reminds me of why I did this in the first place. And it's the same reaction that I got from my mom when she was finally, after 2 to 3 weeks of using my performance system last year, that, took her and got her out of pain for the first time. And it's very powerful. It's very, very strong. And, there are a couple of things in business that I've learned along the way that definitely separated my mindset. When I was making close to $200,000 a year in a medical sales position. I was very, from the age of 24 all the way up to about, 20, I was 23 all the way up to like 26. I was doing very, very good. And, and when you are a sales rep, a medical sales rep, yes, you help others. Yes, there's problems that you're solving. But at the end of the day, it's just about cashing the check at the end of the week, at the end of the 2 weeks when you are a paid employee. To be a business owner, to be a great business owner, money cannot be on your mind. The revenue cannot be on your mind, but rather the magnitude of the difference that you can make in society needs to be front end positioning on your face 24/7. I would not be able to do what I'm doing, or I would have been able to last and continue to do what I do if all I thought was money. It just would not, it would have torn me to pieces. And it's this constant internal battle. Yes, we need money. Yes, we need to make revenue. Yes, the business, you don't have a business if you're not making money. But at the end of the day, businesses take time, processes take time. But when you work for a good cause and you truly help others, you can sacrifice so much along the way. And that sacrifice has allowed me to position myself here and to get me to where I'm at, to be so passionate and helping others, because without seeing that drive and that passion from my clients, I don't know where I'd be. I owe it to them. And they are the sole reason as to why I continue to do what I do every single day, to continue to help others, because I know there's more. There are so many more. And I know there's so many more that I can help. It'd be a shame that I ever let go of that vision and that outcome or that dream of mine to help individuals truly feel better for the first time.
Sounds like purpose is at the core.
That's it. It's a good way to summarize my 3 minutes of talking.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
I think there's more to unpack at a tactical and a functional level for getting into the mind of your mind of how you actually keep things moving forward and aligned on the back end and on the front end, functionally. But before we get into that that headspace, cast a vision forward. What is the North Star? Where's the vision taking Adam Rehabilitation, taking you as a founder, as a visionary? Where's it all going towards?
So I'm glad you asked, and this is going to be very specific to me. So for those listening, I just hope that you can apply similar methodologies to your own business outline. But I created something that was the first cross between medical bracing and fitness technology. Combining the two means that I'm actually allowed to bill Medicare, Medicaid, private insurances for the brace. Eventually, you'll be able to walk into your doctor office and say, hey, I saw this thing online. I want to try it. Can you prescribe it to me? They'll be able to write your prescription, send it over to us, and we fulfill your order at no cost to you, or at maybe a small cost. Um, Still working out the details on that. But beyond the insurance, we have opportunities within helping the U.S. military, who is in dire need of other musculoskeletal techniques for injury prevention, even furthering on to start satisfying the high-level athletes that are going ahead and creating not only maintenance routines, but strengthening routines. And then 3, providing the nation, and I'm going to say the United States, with a trusted and proven method of making sure that if you do end up having surgery on your shoulder, that there's a system outline for you to get better and to stay better, right? 50% of the individuals who have ever had shoulder surgery have chronic pain for more than 3 years after the surgery. That's a huge number. That means 1 out of 2 people who may be listening to this, and if you're considering surgery, I just want you to hear me out right now, because this is super important. 1 out of 2 people who end up having surgery end up having chronic pain for over 3 years. There's no difference in their methodologies except for one thing. It's their 3 to 9 month treatment plan. Okay? So typically when you have surgery, you go through 12 weeks of physical therapy, shoulder surgery specifically. You go through 12 weeks of physical therapy and maybe 16 weeks if you're lucky and your insurance pays for it, or if you pay for it. But what they found is that the months from 3 months, so from 12 weeks to the 9-month mark, the individuals who not only continued training, but continued maintenance and continued to go ahead and strengthen their bodies are the ones that found success. If you leave physical therapy and you don't continue strengthening and maintaining your upper body and using the techniques that the therapist left you with, there's a 50% chance, actually, sorry, that's the wrong statement. There is a very, very high chance that you'll end up with chronic shoulder pain. for the rest of however long, where you're using
Wow.
unconventional methods just to try and get out of pain. You'll be in, from painkillers to cortisone shots to injections and everything under the sun to try and alleviate that. You really need to understand that leaving the physical therapist, the job's not over. Your body alone and the muscles alone are going to need another 6 months to get you back into really strong and good shape, where then now you can maintain after that. But it's just such a long game, and it's very demanding and it's very hard. And those first 12 weeks are so hard on individuals, especially um, men, independent, powerful men who have been living with pain and will just suffer through pain because that's what individuals do. And there are some very strong women out there that won't complain and they'll just let it ride. But you really have to take that chance to step in with your health and take that 12-month or that 3 to 9 month period and really help yourself. And that is where we found a superb benefit in our clients, because we've taken individuals right after surgery, they start our program, they work on it for about 3 months, and then they're doing maintenance because we've got them so strong and so stable in the process that they can do what they want to do. You want to bowl, you want to play pickleball, you want to play tennis, you want to swim, you want to comb your hair, you want to wash your dog without pain, wash your car maybe, you want to sleep without having to roll over or lay on your back. All of these things take so much of a toll on someone's own, not only mental psyche, but their physical body wear and tear. You have to go ahead and push your body into safe and stable exercises. And I've created that system to perfectly cater you as if someone was holding you the entirety of the time that you go through these movements. I have clients that tell me, I've never felt these muscles before. I didn't even know they existed. And it's just about a system of moving our bodies with resistance and very specific angles that I've designed to match functional aptitude for the results that we want to get. Over time, we see great results. And I encourage you to take the time to understand your body, to learn your body. And, more power to you if you can continue physical therapy for 9 months. I think that's amazing. I think that's a great thing. For most of everyone listening to this, doing 9 months of physical therapy sounds unimaginable, right? Or you start with some physical therapy and then you continue on with a system like mine, and that will allow you to progress at a much faster rate before you end up going on and progressing even past it, moving forward again.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So to summarize, it sounds like your vision is scaling the impact that the technology, the system is making on lives through multiple channels.
Yeah.
One, through as a medical device, you're uniquely positioned to leverage Medicare and things of that nature, so your doctor can actually prescribe the device for free, or in some cases a small copay.
Right.
And an adjacent channel to that is actually scaling it through the military, and then looking. It sounds also like you said, leveraging the pro athlete space as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and I learned this when I was studying a lot on like ice baths, right? When ice baths got really hot on the market for a little bit. So I started, so I did another podcast and we spoke about it, and was listening to a lot of the experts on this subject. And, you know, when it comes to muscular development, ice baths aren't great, but when it comes to improving recovery, that's where they come in, they dial in the inflammation. But the ones who need to recover more aren't the individuals up to the age of 25 to 26, because we're still developing and growing. It's really the prime individuals that have already developed their skill or already developed all of their strength. They're in their bodies already, and now they need to maintain, right? So, look, if you're a high level athlete and you're still growing, you're, 26, years old, you're right at that point where you need to start taking care of your body. And, all the way out for the rest of your life, you need to maintain that. And it's so important, whether you have my system or not. It's so important that you treat your body with respect and you allow it to build on top of it. Here's a fun fact for you: musculature will develop within a 4 to 6 week time frame on a strength training protocol, but your tendons grow and only thicken to the same level at about 12 to 16 weeks. That means that you've got another, 6 weeks alone before you continue to progress, before your tendons are even ready. By utilizing a system that not only stabilizes your body, stabilizes your arms and your joints, but we're forcing blood flow in to thicken the tendons to prevent injuries altogether. And one of the most mobile joints of the body which is at the shoulder. It's so important that we have this adequate maintenance period moving forward. And like you said, creating that impact and creating that dent here is something that I'm 100% sure of is going to not only take my business to the next level, but also take the way that we experience and rehabilitate and treat our bodies to the next level and a heightened experience. I'm plowing fresh dirt here. This is not, I'm not piggybacking off of anybody's inventions and anybody's ideas, but rather I'm taking the tools and the resources I've learned, combining together, connecting the dots to elevate all of us together to be stronger, healthier, and improve in our day-to-days.
Nice. I'm on board.
I'm in. We're in it.
That's awesome.
To kind of further, what Adam Rehabilitation is and stands for, um, we have a HIPID core model coming out beyond. So the the current system works from every muscle, 24 muscles from the rib cage and up, but the hip and core system will work on alleviating not only the posture at the pelvic area, but also to strengthen the glutes, the hip flexors, and the remaining of the other muscles within the upper portion of the leg that connect at the hips and the low back to create balanced and equitable musculature. And that's how the current shoulder system works. It's designed on a system that balances both the front end and the back end of the body. Because even though most people only experience pain in the front end, it's because the posterior chain or the back side of the body is not strong enough to balance the front. We've got large compensatory muscles also within the legs and within the glutes and in the low back that position our bodies into these ways that we end up compensating, which creates pain, issues like sciatica, issues like bursitis, knee pain, things like that. A lot of, and even a lot of low back pain stems from the hips, and we have to position the pelvis into certain positions. And the only way that we do that is from strengthening the muscles. I don't care how much stretching you do. I don't care how much yoga you do. I don't care how much acupuncture you do. I'm glad that that provides you some relief. And and I would just like to add on to the fact that I love all of those things, and you have to take care of your muscles too. And the only way to take care of your muscles is to push and to pull them in all and equal motions that the body allows you to do. And if you are not doing that with your muscles, that's how muscles grow. They expand and contract. Well, what most people don't realize is that all muscles also have an equal but opposite muscle that controls an opposite reaction. So when you pull one muscle ends up extending. So you tighten one, the other one extends. And you have to do that in a motion and in a fashion that they're constantly balancing out. And that is how you correct for pain. That is how you correct for issues within posture, low back pain, separating and alleviating sciatica or herniated discs. Bulging discs end up going back in place, end up being pulled back into the body because of the decompression in it. And this whole system has to be worked in this fashion that you push and you pull in equal but opposite motions. You don't want one overpowering the other. And this does not apply for, the top 1% of athletes. Anybody who's an expert in the field is going to tell you, they're not going to work on, I'm not going to correct Michael Jordan's form, right? I'm not going to sit there and tell Michael Jordan, that, oh, your hips are a little bit off, we're going to start strengthening, start doing this specific routine to correct that because it's functional for him. But when pain overrides function, we need correction. Okay? As well as preventative maintenance. If you are not someone who is currently satisfied with what you currently and how you currently are, then you need to take proactive initiative into correcting that for yourself. And that proactive initiative needs to start with developing additional musculature in equal but opposite areas of your body, no matter from your hips to your shoulders to your knees to your ankles, everywhere. I don't know if you're familiar with a gentleman called the knees over toes guy.
I've seen
You've
him
seen?
on
Okay.
Instagram.
So the knees over toes guy applies this type of methodology towards helping knee pain. And he does a lot of backwards walking, a lot of backwards sled walking, a lot of hyper extension and loading in equal and opposite areas. And it's the way that the body needs to balance in these angles and support each other at these angles in order to alleviate pain is something that is well documented. And it's just a matter of fact that our daily lives create compensations that we do not, or the general public does not necessarily have the skill set to combat. So you have a couple of things that you can do to go ahead and do this. You can go to a physical therapist. You can pay maybe for a high-end personal trainer, which is probably going to cost you the same as a physical therapist. Or, like myself, sorry, small plug in here, you buy my system and it does you, and you follow a routine that does this and allows you to follow it easily and naturally on your own. That way you don't need any assistance moving forward. But it's about following the right type of system for your type of level and progressing you on from there.
Before we jumped on the line, you were sharing some thoughts regarding the perspective on marketing and growth and organizational strategy and the scientific method. Perhaps that's a good segue and bridge from the methodology at the heart of the business, the purpose of your company, what you do, why you do it, and how you do it from the implementation standpoint to how do you do it from the CEO's standpoint? How do you do it as a business owner? What does that look like tactically on the ground?
So, I've been fortunate and blessed with many mentors along the way that have helped me refine and perfect the system. I mean, I've been mentored for about almost 2 years now, even before, maybe about a year and a half, actually, another thing. About a year and a half, I've had mentors on my team that have helped me understand this and what the business needs in order to be successful. And understanding your perfect prospect is whether you will make it or break it or not. So with my perfect prospect, I have to qualify them. Okay. I'm not here to argue with you and to tell you that my way is better than any other way. I'm not here to tell you that um, not to try something else. I want you to feel better. That is my whole main motive here. So if you're someone who, I'm going to give you my perfect prospect. If you're someone who's tried the cortisone shots, you've been through physical therapy, you're still struggling with your sleep, you might be hyperventilating at times, you've got shallow breathing going on, you feel as though you're in so much pain that your body doesn't allow you to do things, and you want to fix your shoulders or fix your neck and the way that you feel, and you're willing to go ahead and not only do you have the resources to do it, you've got the time to spend into it, and you are motivated to go ahead and take action, because my system requires you to take action. I don't have a magic pill. I have a real solution here. It's not snake oil. I don't sell, pain relief pills. I supply you with a cure, not a band-aid. It's a cure. If you're someone who's looking to cure your shoulder pain, your neck pain, and improve your posture, and then have something with you. Again, not just a one time, not a service. It's a product. You're someone who wants a cure that you can keep forever. You should buy my system. Okay? Right now, that should have qualified you or disqualified you. Okay? You're saying, well, I haven't tried this yet. I'm going to go get a shot. Go for it. Just read a study today. Cortisone shots versus sham versus a sham shot. A sham is like a saline shot, but nobody knows. They did a double-blind randomized control trial. No difference. No difference in outcome. Okay, the power of your mind is very very strong, but no difference in a cortisone shot and resulting in pain outcomes. There are, like I said, 1 out of 2 of you who get shoulder surgery right now are going to have chronic pain for 3 years. Stats, facts, not making it up. Do whatever you want to do. Just understand that I'm here if you are that person who's tired of the nonsense and tired of going through that. You can purchase my system, follow my routine, and cure your shoulder. And it works on 2 things. It works on 2 different reasons and 2 primary reasons. One is reciprocal inhibition, which is the art of balancing the muscles that we spoke about earlier. Okay, when one pulls, one pushes. Okay, so that balancing act is called reciprocal inhibition. That works on all levels. And number 2, we create what is known as scapulohumeral rhythm. We allow the bones in the arm to move with the shoulder blade at the proper motion. And by doing the specific routine that I've done, it allows the body to create space within the joint so that way there's no impingement there. There's no tightness within the neck when you pull or when you push or when you lift or depress. And rather, there's so many things that make you so tight, but rather my system not only mobilizes you, it stabilizes you, and then it strengthens you. That is such a huge key and piece to all of this and to understanding who you are and where you are in space. If you're ready to take that step to go ahead and progress into who you can truly be and fix your shoulders and your posture and your neck once and for all, I highly encourage you to check out what we have. If you are somebody who says, Jordan, I'm not willing to spend 15 minutes a day on my health, it's not bad enough. I get it. Cool. More power to you. That's okay too. I totally respect it. I totally understand. I totally get it. Or Jordan, it doesn't hurt bad enough yet. Okay. So you would prefer to wait till it hurts bad enough. Okay. If that's what you prefer, I cannot force you to make that decision in for yourself, but rather understand that we're here to help, and I would love to go ahead and make sure that this doesn't get any worse or progress any further. Totally understand that. Jordan, I'm going to try and get a shot. Cool. Go get one. That's okay. But if you're qualifying and understanding your buyer, if you're someone who's been through this, you've tried this, you're taking the sleeping pills because you can't sleep, you're taking painkillers, a couple times a week, destroying your body, destroying your mind. Your sleep alone destroying you because you can't sleep, you can't recover well, and you're in this constant cycle of this constant inflammatory cycle, as well as a fight or flight state. Your heart rate's higher, your breathing is harder, your sleep quality is trash. I mean, if you want to get out of that, I'm here to help you. If it's not bad enough yet, I totally understand. And for any business that you go ahead and you go into, if you can really take someone and say, hey, look, you've been through this, you've been through that. You tried this, it didn't work. You tried that, it still didn't work. You're still suffering, and it's still not good enough for you. That qualification, if you can pinpoint those pain points of that person, of what the perfect prospect will be, you'll have so much of a better business and revenue stream targeting just that small group of people. And you're right, you won't catch all the fish in the sea, but you'll catch a giant marlin. You'll catch a fish that that really matters, right? Instead of hunting for bait fish and looking all around the ocean for them, right? But you've got a targeted approach and a system that allows you to qualify individuals to get you to the perfect person the person that you can truly help. And that's the people that you want buying your products and supporting your brand and business altogether.
If you're just starting a business and you're unsure of your perfect prospect, how do you begin to capture that? And then once you've captured it, how do you know if it's correct, incorrect, partially correct? How do you validate that assumed perfect prospect for a new business?
This is the scientific method. This is where we're at. Right here, right now, we're bringing it back to fourth grade, fifth grade, whenever you learned it. And right, so you got a hypothesis. You think, right? You think that that person's going to want your business. You think that this solves their problem. So what do you have to do? Well, first and foremost, you want to create a null hypothesis, which says, well, what if this is not the case? This might not be the case. Okay, and then what do? That's fine. We'll come up with we'll leave the null hypothesis for later. But most importantly, we're going to begin to test the hypothesis. So you're going to go out and you're going to go talk to people. You're going to go ask them questions, discovery questions, without being a salesman. You're going to get to know these people, what drives their gears, if it's important. And then you ask them really one very, very specific question. If there was something that solves this problem, would you be interested in it? Then your next question should be, what do you think, or what would you pay for something like that? And that should give you a very solid answer or a solid understanding as to whether or not you are in the right market right now. Because there's two things that need to happen within a perfect prospect, on top of them already being qualified. They need to be able to buy, be able to pay you, and willing to pay you. Okay? Sometimes they don't align up. Someone might be willing to pay you, but they don't have the money, and now you're stuck. And sometimes people may have the money, but won't be willing to pay you, and you're still stuck. So you need to balance that too and figure out how far down you need to go in order to find that perfect person and or perfect business. Some people do business to business, transactions, and but you really need to find, and this is going to take you a long time. This is going to take you some time to learn. Hats off to the guys that start off and they nail it out of the park. Hats off to those. But for the bulk majority of us, myself included, it took me a very long time to understand what I'm really doing and why I'm doing it and who I'm doing it for. And, I'll tell you, most of my clients are over the age of 35. Oldest client is like 84 or something. But for the majority, we're in between about 35 to about 60. That's where I have found that not only the individuals are willing to buy, but are able to buy and also fit within my perfect prospects. We'll call it candidacy. Okay, so that's where we end up being, and it may be shorter for someone, it may take longer, but at the end of the day, you have to sit here and really ask yourself: Is it worth? Is the business worth doing for the money that I can charge for these individuals? You're really going to have to find that out. And the only way you're going to do that is going to take that dive to going ahead and doing your market validation and asking the people who may be your customers. And this may switch. It may change. You may find out that, one route that you tried in the beginning was the right route. You just didn't try long or hard enough. Or, maybe you tried too long on one thing and it didn't get you any results at all. So you got to, just be patient with yourself, take your time, understand your customers, and really learn, how to go ahead and position yourself correctly on the market. I think that it's one of the most important things that you can do when starting your business is understanding your customers, their pain points, what they've tried, what they've done, and why they failed, and why you're the best solution for them moving forward.
Earlier, we discussed the trap of perfectionism.
So,
And imagine someone frames up their hypothesis. They create an assumed perfect prospect. They do the customer discovery interviews. They determine the validity or lack thereof of their given hypothesis. They demonstrate through all of this data collection that it is a severe enough pain point that people can pay for, are willing to pay for. It makes financial sense for you. Talk about the step beyond that, which is the development of the solution. Once you have confidence that this is the thing, that there's a demand for it, it will be profitable. How do you think? Tell me about your thought process and perspective on the build and ship or build and deployment uh, process.
I'm only going to speak on my business, right? I can't speak on anything else on in regard to, how you take care and nurture your customers. For me, what sets Adam Rehabilitation apart from others in the process of it is that I am incredibly hands-on even to this day. Even though I have a very direct-to-consumer retail product that people buy and go in, I am still so hands-on with so many people every day to show them how to go ahead and make a difference. And I do this at practically no cost to the individual. I find someone who who needs help, and I am just over the moon happy to go ahead and help them. And it's something that I take a lot of pride in because I know I'm so good at it and that I deserve, and it's almost like my charity thing. It's like, okay, thank you for buying my product, but you're not alone in this. And I'm going to take so much more. I'm going to give you so much more than you could have ever asked for from me to make this the most incredible experience for you that I possibly can. And for me, it's fulfilling. And for the clients, they love me and they're grateful and they're appreciative because I go above and beyond to not only protect my name, my brand, and my reputation, but to also make a meaningful stand to help others. And you can apply this in anywhere. Just whatever you do, just be beyond what anyone can ever expect from you. Be the top tier, top best thing, and just give 90% away, 90% of it away for free. Sell the implementation of it, but give all of your secrets, help everyone, do as much as you possibly can on the day to day, and then sell the implementation. Give all of it away and sell the implementation of it.
What haven't we addressed that you feel like we should before our
Oh,
time runs to
back to
an
the
end?
scientific method, right? We had a hypothesis, we tested, we had our results, and then we have a conclusion. If the conclusion or the results doesn't line up with what you want, then we have to restart the cycle over again. And don't be afraid to restart. You know, a lot of people will sit here and tell you, you got to keep at it. And I know I made a statement earlier, well, you might not have done something long enough to really find out. But the only way you're going to find out is if you test, test, retest, retest again. So keep doing, keep moving. And as long as you're making some small progress, you need to go ahead and hone in on it. Certain things are going to take more time than others. Certain things are going to take a little bit less time, might be a little bit more energetically demanding on your body, whatever it may be, maybe a little bit more physical taxing on the mind, whatever it may be. But do enough of a test. And I'll tell you, I test within 3-month increments. Okay? It's a pretty long testing period. But of course, this is on top of everything else that the business needs to do, right? So this is not just, it's not the only thing. Yes, sales are important, but it's not the only thing that I do. And when you test and retest, you need to have a viable way to look back at the data. What did you do? Were there improvements that could have been made? Was the design of the system faulty itself, right? Because maybe that was the right thing, but your implementation was incorrect. Maybe the wording was incorrect. Maybe the phrasing, maybe the outreach wasn't optimal. Maybe it was just a volume thing. Maybe you didn't test enough within that time period. So you should give yourself 3 months to look back at the data, track your data, be methodical about it, and go back and sit there and truly ask yourself, did you do this all correctly, or were there changes that you think could have been made to make this better or worse?
You're a wealth of knowledge and insight, Jordan.
Thanks. That's humbling and flattering,
Thank you for sharing.
making me blush.
So, if you had to put a flag in the sand for where we're at now that we can pick up in our next conversation and keep moving forward, what didn't we get to in this conversation that we should explore in our next one?
We didn't talk much about marketing and advertising implementation strategies. Um, Brand outreach and understanding the sheer volume and help that's required in order to go ahead and make a substantial dent within the market. I think marketing and advertising, again, my weakest suit, but also something that I've been studying now past year consistently 24/7. And, I feel as though within my own strategies, there's a lot of value there that individuals can piggyback off of from just understanding, apps, technology, tools to use, automations and systems. And what most importantly is identifying when to use the automation and when to get less personal and why you would be doing something like that. Because for some individuals, automations aren't better. Automations only help the individuals that once you've perfected the personalization, because you don't want to lose that touch on your clients. You need to make sure that right now in this world and in this day and age, that you are the front center brand and face recognition for your company to make the difference in their lives for whatever problem you solve, or or whomever and whyever they are paying you. Then they need to understand that you are there for them, not a robot. That's important. I think we're losing a lot within AI. We're losing a lot within all these no-code app builders. But as long as you maintain that integrity within yourself and to understand to utilize these to help you be more personalized for them, I think you're on the right track.
So now we know we have to explore in our next conversation marketing and advertising, how to make a dent in the market,
Yeah,
and piggybacking off of your strategies.
yeah, and jumping on the generative AI bandwagon.
Indeed. Jordan, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for jumping on the podcast today.
Thanks so much for having me. These are a blast. I love these. These are great.
You got it, man. I'll see you in the next one.
Take care. Bye-bye.